Hi, I'm Peter J. Ray. Welcome to Adventures in History. Today's topic is Augusta Fisher Smallshaw, 1993, Part 2. This is the continuation of the interview conducted by my sister Patricia and my mother in September 1993 in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, my grandmother's home. Patricia. So you probably didn't milk the cow very much since you didn't like it. No, Mother didn't mind milking the cow. Dad wasn't used to animals. Mother would say, "Oh, Dad, I wish you'd milk the cow today." He said, "When I milk the cow, it comes out of my elbow." I think that was his excuse. How did your mother know how to do it? I don't know. We lived with these Fitzpatricks when we first came, and they likely taught her how. Probably. Did you learn how to ride a horse? Oh, yes. I just loved riding a horse. Did you ride with a saddle? I could ride bareback, but I liked a saddle. How old were you when you learned to ride? Oh, quite young. Did you enjoy it? Oh, I loved it. You said that riding to school there was a coyote or something, a wolf? Yes, I was riding to school. Wait, did you ride a horse to get to school? Yes, every day. Where did the horse stay when you were in school? They always had a barn at the back of the school and a few oat sheaves. We'd go in the morning and cut the string on their oat. We'd take the horse next door to some people who lived there. They had a well. Horses have to have water. I'm sure they do. How old were you when you first rode a horse to school? Not very old. You weren't scared of the horse? I was always a bit afraid of animals, horses and cows and anything like that. One time I was riding home from the post office. People named Barnes had a rural post office. Mother was always homesick for mail from England. Mother wanted me to go to Barnes and see if the mail had come, if there was something for her. I was riding home and it was starting to get a bit dusk. A young wolf, sage-colored, came. I guess he was a hungry little fellow. He was biting my legs as I was riding the horse. I had a whip, so I whipped him. Then he went to the throat of my horse. He was going for his throat. Poor old Tommy. He'd shake his head and go a little faster. Then he'd get behind and go for my legs again, and I'd whip him. It was kind of scary. Tommy was the name of your horse? Tommy. Was he your horse? He was our horse, the family horse. How old were you when this happened? Not very old. I don't know how old I was. When the darn wolf was going for my horse's neck, I was scared. Did he actually bite Tommy? Oh, sure. Tommy knew what was happening. He'd shake him off and go a little bit faster. Then when I got near the house, we had a dog, a spaniel. He was my dog. I loved him. Bruin was his name. Mother named him Bruin. Mother named all of our animals, and we didn't dare say different. When we got near the house, Bruin, my dog, knew that I was coming. He ran across the garden and under the fence to meet me. Then the wolf went away. So did Bruin sort of scare off the wolf? Sure. My dog came to meet me. I was so glad because I had to get off the horse to undo the gate and get into our property. Then the wolf went away. Quite an experience. It was something you thought would never happen. How long did your family have the farm? Oh, gee, I don't know. You just sold it a few years ago. Dad hung on to it. It was in Norma's name. Bud says that he wished that he had bought it. It was left to Norma by Herbert? By Julia. Why did Julia leave it to Norma? Well, us girls were married and established in our own place. Norma was the youngest. Did Norma get married? Yes, she did. So the farm stayed in the family until a few years ago. Yeah, I don't know if you'd call it a farm. It was Dad's homestead. Well, but it became a farm. Yeah. So how long did you stay on the farm? Well, I had an older sister that got married at 18, Celia. She lived in Regina. Norma was quite a bit younger than the rest of us. She was the only one that was born in this country. So she was born there at the homestead? Yeah. Do you remember when she was born? Yes. I was 10. Was she born at home? No, not likely. I don't know. Maybe she was. The women around there were more or less midwives. Had to be. Quite a different way of living. Yeah. Did you like growing up on the homestead? Did I like it? I loved it. So free, and I liked dear old Tommy, my horse. I used to throw the saddle on him and crawl underneath him and get the girth and tighten it up. Make it nice and tight. Unless you made it tight, it would slip around. And get on and ride. Mother had long red hair and she'd go flying in the wind. You had long auburn hair. Yeah, people used to say, I saw your lovely long hair flying in the wind. Did you have any boyfriends when you were in high school? Lots of them. I used to go to square dances. I was very popular. At the lunch yesterday, a woman said that her husband knew you when you were a fisher. Yeah, I'd like to have talked with her. Did you ride your horse to the square dance? I'd ride my horse. I loved riding him, but I was not very successful at riding him bareback because you had to hang on to the mane. Dad sent to Eaton's and bought a saddle. With a saddle you can hang on to the pommel. How did you go to the square dances? The boys used to come and get us. They used to have square dances and they were lots of fun. I was popular. Always had lots of boys inviting me to be their partners. That must have been nice. It was nice. Oh, it was a different age altogether. I enjoyed it. Did you have to get a special dress for the square dance? No, we just danced the way we were. I had lots of fun. How old were you when you left your parents' house? I forget, dearie. A long time ago. You were about 18, weren't you? I think so. And did your father die when you were a teenager? Yes. Very, very sad. My dad was such a wonderful character, wonderful person. Everybody respected him. Some of the neighbors around there said, How's the old man? Mother wouldn't let them get away with that. She'd say, Are you speaking about Mr. Fisher? Ha. Alfred had gone away to war, right? To World War I when your dad died. Yes, where we lived wasn't very far from Craven. He went with a young fella by the name of Steptoe, Percy Steptoe. Percy wanted to get back to England so badly. He had a girlfriend there. She wanted him to come. He said to my brother, Let's go to Regina. When he came back, he told my dad, I enlisted. They had to be 19 to enlist. Alfred was only 16. My dad said, I could get you out. He was the only son and he was needed. He said, If I did that, that would make you a liar. He said, I don't want to brand you a liar. So I didn't see my brother much after that. Why did he enlist? The exciting thing to do, and he was with this young fellow, Percy Steptoe. Percy must have got killed because we never heard of him again. Where did Alfred go during World War I? He went to France. Yeah, he was in the trenches. The interview ended here as the tape came to its end. Augusta Lillian Fisher Smallshaw was born on October 24th, 1897. She died January 13th, 1997. In loving memory, this is her obituary. Mrs. Augusta Lillian Smallshaw, late of Extendicare Sunset Nursing Home, passed away January 13th, 1997, in her 100th year, predeceased by her husband George, granddaughter Pamela in 1971, daughter-in-law Doris Smallshaw in 1972. Augusta is survived by her daughter Ruth and son-in-law John Ray of Rocky River, Ohio, her son George, known as Bud of Regina, 6 grandchildren, Mark, Patricia, Peter, Brian, Janet, and Joan, and several great-grandchildren. She settled in Saskatchewan in the Silton area with her parents in 1903, before Saskatchewan was a province. She was a longtime member of St. Peter's Anglican Church. The funeral service will be Friday, January 17th, 1997, at 2 o'clock p.m. at St. Peter's Anglican Church, 7th Avenue and Garnett Street, with the Reverend Don Wells officiating. Interment at a later date in Long Laketon Cemetery. That happened during the summer. The family would like to thank Nellie Nichols as Augusta's primary caregiver. Flowers gratefully declined. Friends so wishing may make donations in memoriam the Canadian Diabetes Association in Regina. Now we have one comment on this on the original publication. And the comment is from Tessa Dolina, who was the secretary at Restless Educational Center in Quezon City, Philippines. Dear Sir, greetings. I just finished reading issue number 37, and may I say that I enjoyed reading this particular conversation with Gus Smallshaw. During the course of the conversation, I tried to pick out some relevant topics, which I would like to share with you. Augusta Smallshaw appears to be a strong-willed woman. She also has a very sharp mind, despite her age. She could recall vividly her childhood as well as her growing-up years. May I say that she lived to a very ripe old age filled with happiness and satisfaction in life. She was the daughter who showed so much loyalty, love, and dedication to her family. She only had positive words for her dad and mom. They say whatever you are now is largely a product of your roots. Gus came from a very happy family, and this is what she inculcated in her own family and has been carried over to the next generation. It seems that the family of Gus and Ruth radiated so much love and care, as evidenced in the present times. On the whole, this particular issue reminded me of my own father, who was also a very strict disciplinarian, but well respected. I am sure that wherever he is now, he is at peace, and if ever he will be able to see his children now, he will be very happy. In the same manner, if Augusta will be able to see all of you now, she would be able to say that she has attained self-fulfillment in her life. Thank you so much for sharing these collections with me. They are prized possessions, and may you continue your good work. Sincerely yours, Tessa J. Dolina, Quezon City, Philippines. Well, that concludes today's presentation. Augusta Fisher Smallshaw, 1993, Part 2. She was a wonderful woman, wonderful grandmother, very kind person, very beloved, and still remembered. God bless Augusta Smallshaw. Good luck to you with your efforts in family history, if this interests you, finding, preserving, and sharing old letters, diaries, and photographs, and interviewing elderly relatives while they're alive. You might consider checking out our website, Adventures in History, with Peter J. Ray at peterjray.com. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. God bless you. Take care, and I'll see you next time.